Seeing the title of this video, you might be like, what new could there possibly be about Mirage in 2024? Well, let me tell you, Mirage has been dissected more times than a frog in high school biology class. There is new stuff popping up here every day, and trust me, I got some tricks up my sleeve to surprise you. After scouring through a ton of videos on YouTube, Twitter and Reddit, I rounded up all the goodies into this one video, so you don't have to go through the same grind I did. Along with the pro tips, I also throw in some basic Nades setups for those just dipping their toes into the Counter-Strike world. But before we dive in, I gotta ask y'all to smash that like button and hit subscribe to the channel. It helps me push this video out there, and if after watching you ain't learn anything, you can always take those likes back. No harm, no fool. And now let's get into it. Let's kick things off from T-spawn, where all the nades get tossed out at the start to take control of mid. The basic smoke for the start looks like this nowadays. What's special about it is that it completely blocks the view for city, even from connector, giving you a smooth entry into the boxes. But these days, folks are favoring a trickier version of this nade. If you aim at a tad lower and to the left, and now, if you stand at this ledge and start shooting into the smoke, you can catch a player in window who definitely ain't expecting you there. In general, you can throw a bunch of nades from this dumpster at spawn. For instance, to smoke a window, you gotta stand in front of the dumpster and aim at the intersection of the wall and the balcony, hold D, and execute a jump throw. Most folks know this one, but if you stand to the left of the dumpster, aim at the second pattern on this mat, and jump throw, you will perfectly smoke connector with no gaps. And if you hop on this dumpster, crouch, aim at this plank and take a few steps before throwing, you will smoke a top con. But which nade to throw at the start of the round is up to you, depending on the plan for that round. After one of the recent updates, spawn locations changed, so did the Insta window smokes. Only 2 of the old nades remain, but let me tell you up front, you could still throw them all from 10 spawns, but now I'll show you just 5 easy to remember ones. The first spawn remains the same, so line up to this corner and use the bin W plus jump throw. By the way, all these nades use the same bin, so from now on I'll just say use bin. The second spawn is the same as before, aim at this spawn near the window and throw with the bin. If you spawn slightly left to the fence and not snug against the wall, you gotta aim at the center of the white spot under the balcony and throw with bin. When you spawn directly across the arrow, aim between these 2 patterns and throw with bin. And the last spawn opposite the windows, in this case, you gotta aim at the left pattern from this white spot and throw with bin. I'll leave the console commands from practicing these nades in the pinned comment. And now let's move on to the pit. You might have thought you knew it all, but guess what? You don't. Did you know that if you peek out along the far wall, you will shadow visible to the opponent, and in 99% of cases, they'll pop you? That's why you gotta peek along the shadow, and if you're playing city and holding pit, it's best to take this angle to catch opponents making that mistake. And if you've got an intel that your opponent is close in pit, you can stand in this spot, aim here and pop this flash. Or you can aim with both mouse buttons here. These 2 flashes are instant, pick whichever you fancy. For those who didn't know, one person can throw all the smokes at a site. Approach these doors. First smoke onto stairs, bounce off the wires, smoke jungle, line up with the wall and smoke city. Now take a few steps forward and throw a flash off the lamp to blind opponents close and one above palace to blind those inside in city. When exiting pit, it's must to throw this molly so opponents can push through the smoke, but that's not the only variation of these nades. You can also do it from this spot. First smoke onto stairs with control push jump throw, second smoke into jungle and third into city. The third variation only includes smokes for stairs and jungle. throw from this spot. First smoke with 2 buttons onto stairs, second smoke simply with your left mouse button onto jungle. Choose which combination to use yourself, but don't forget about Molotovs and flashes. If you've taken Tetris and need to flush out opponents from the certain position, you can easily do that. First molly onto ticket, second behind firebox, and third onto default. Just make sure you've got 3 Molotovs with you. But that's not all. Without leaving Tetris, you can smoke any position. First smoke into jungle, second onto top con, third smoke lands in city, and fourth from the box onto stairs. Knowing these nades will be lifesaver in clutch situations. There are a few tricks at A side that will help you gather info on opponents. The first trick is how to check if someone's in ninja. Just shoot into this box, and if you see blood, you can shoot a few more times and kill them. The second trick is that A plant has holes. To check opponents in sandwich, there's this gap you can shoot through. Opponents on the palace can be spotted through this gap and easily taken out. You can also check default through this gap, but it's not penetrable, so you'll just have to pre-fire. And the last gap on ticket, you can check if someone's close when you're taking A site. Now let's move over to bomb side B. Starting from afar to smoke off short arches, you need to wedge yourself against this column and throw with a jump throw, aiming at this corner. This smoke covers the left arch, and to cover the right, you need to move to another column, aim at this white spot and also throw with a jump throw. These grenades land deep and won't give opponents on short a chance to help their teammate. And the grenades for B from this corner should be known by everyone. First smoke onto this roof with the jump throw, there's the standard window smoke, second smoke into this corner which lands on short, and the third smoke into this window also with a jump throw. That's the main smoke. This is the base everyone should know. I reckon many of you with level 8 and above have heard of Magnolia and wonder what it is. Well, let me explain. For this you need one of your teammates, 2 flashes and 1 smoke. You need to stand in this spot, aim as shown in the video, and throw with a jump throw. Meanwhile, your teammate closer in apps, throw 2 flashes as you fly out. A very cool round when you have a bad buy or force. From B apps, you can also throw Molotovs to any position. The first standard one goes onto the van, the second behind forest, third into main, fourth onto backside, and fifth into kitchen. Every time you're pushing onto the side, you gotta utilize your grenades, otherwise you're wasting your money. If you've taken control of car, you can also refresh the smokes into kitchen. Stand near this barrel, aim here, and throw with the left mouse button. That's the main smoke. If you aim slightly above this line and throw with the left mouse button, it's the window smoke. Just make sure the wooden panel's broken or it won't land. And another extra tip, if you stand on this barrel and start shooting here, you can kill an enemy in this corner no matter where they're standing. A common situation is where you left in a clutch situation are planting the bomb on bomb side B in default. From this spot you can throw 2 grenades. The first is the smoke slightly to the right of this intersection, flying into the window. The second grenade is the Molotov throw with the 2 buttons along this line, landing in main. And one last minute tip for the T side. I bet you've often struggled to jump into this window when you're pushing B. Well, I have a life hack for you. To consistently jump into the window, you need to jump after passing this line. This way you'll reliably hit the window and won't block your teammates anymore. On the city side, I want to remind you about a wallbang that everyone seems to have forgotten, specifically the wallbang into under. You simply need to spray into this corner. It's rarely useful, but I just wanted to remind you of it. If you enjoy playing aggressively in B apps as city, you can throw this smoke near this couch and hop onto the wooden plank. For you, it's an ideal one way, but for opponents, it's just a regular deep smoke. This way you can catch opponents planning a late exit. Very often when playing on B, you rotate to A side and need to support your teammates. For you, I have a few grenades you might not know about. The first is the palace smoke, thrown from this corner to the lower right corner of this rectangle with a jump throw. It blooms perfectly. Additionally, you can throw flashes that will blind opponents coming onto the side. Every player on the side should know these grenades. The first is the pit smoke, thrown between these two columns with the left mouse button. The second smoke is for palace, thrown from this corner to ticket. You need to aim at the firebox corner and throw while jumping. And when you find yourself in jungle, you can assist your teammate with two grenades. The first is a smoke thrown onto these wires, landing in pit. The second grenade is a Molotov throw slightly below this beam, landing perfectly on Tetris. And the last tip for the day for those playing in window. You're getting smoked out every round. You can throw a Molotov behind the boxes. To do this, when you jump into the window, aim at the upper crack on the wall, step into the smoke and throw while running. If this method is too complicated for you, I have an easier one. Stand on this object, aim at this corner, and similarly to the previous case, throw it while running. That's all from me. I've shown you all the grenades and tricks everyone should know. If I wanted to show you all the grenades and flashes on this map, the video could last for an hour. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoyed this type of videos, comment which map you'd like to see the same video for next. I am signing off. See you in the next video. Bye bye!